Okay, 10 minutes to do a sunset scene with clouds. Don't worry, we'll get to yours. Okay, here we go. All right, we're gonna put a sky in place. So a blue sky that is illuminated by all of this orange light is gonna turn much more gray. And you know, it's really like, it's a layer of orange light that's between us and the blue sky. When there's a sunset, it's projecting like a stripe over our head. So on the top side of it, there's blue. In front of it, there's all the yellow-orange light. And the combination of that makes a very gray sky. So I actually don't even need to use blue in this atmosphere. I'm just going to use black and white. So let's put this in here. You can use blue if you want. If you have a big picture, if you want it to look like you're looking up at blue or sky, you can definitely use blue. There's nothing wrong with that. I've seen blue sky in a sunset, but I just want to show how natural black and white will end up looking.
So what is the viewpoint of this sky, Joe?
This we're going to be looking.
Are we standing and looking straight, or are we sitting in a chair looking up?
Yeah, let's say we're looking out at the sunset. We're looking toward the horizon at the sunset. That's how we're going to do it. So I'm gonna make this bright. I got to use close to a pure white, and it's going to get more gray here. And so this gray, I am deciding that I want it to be a little bit more gold. Where it gets lighter, I definitely need to add the gold color. So let's add red and yellow. Oh, I gotta wash my brush because it's got a lot of gray in it. So I should have done that with the white area. I want a really bright area at the base of this sky that is pure white where the sun is, and then just has this little bit of orange color as it moves away from it. So the sky tends to follow that shifting hue pattern that moves toward yellow as it gets brighter. So I want the red closer to the gray, my redder color in this gray, and then I want to make it real bright down here on the other side of the horizon where it's yellower. So let's get lots of white on there so I can quickly make a real light color. So slightly redder where it's moving to the gray. And that would be moving to blue if I kept going up and up. You know, it would get bluer, but I'm stopping the picture before I get there. Okay, whatever color you make your sky, just remember you're mixing this with the blue sky. You're mixing that orange light with the blue. So it could be a gray violet at some level, or it could be really orange. If it's a real red sunset, just think about that color mixing with blue and doing what light would do, which is not turning green when it mixes with the blue. Now, I have to leave it dark enough that I can actually see the undersides of my sunset clouds. So wherever I want to do the underside of a cloud that's lit up with this, that's where I'm going to have my brightest, yellowest light. So let's just do a really bright yellow. I've got to work heavy because there's wet gray paint under that, and it's going to destroy the brightness of my yellow paint if I let it mix. So I'm just working real heavy. It's just nice to have this kind of paint for that reason. Anyone watching the video that's not in this workshop, this is Sherwin-Williams Emerald paint, and it's pretty heavy, and it's been sitting out for a while, so maybe even heavier because of that. So white mixed with yellow and red for the underside of this cloud, and then I'm going to use red to do the top side, and then I'm going to mix that red with blue to make this grayer violet color that's going to be the shadow of the cloud. This is the silhouette of the cloud right here, coming down and mixing with this. So it gets more red, more yellow as it gets brighter, and then it moves towards red as it's more in the shadow. And the only thing that would turn it purple, let's put some red in between that yellow and brown color. Paint, you lose the red when those paint colors mix. So I always have to add that red back in into the transition. Okay, so now we've got a cloud that's in this lit from the underside perspective. Now I'm going to take some of this light and put it around the edge. Let's take some light
5
yellow.
minutes.
Oh man, it's halfway over. I'm going to have to speed up. Let's put a little bit of light around the edge, like this is getting illuminated around the outside. So a cloud, you know, if it's backlit, then this outside is also going to be illuminated if it's visible. Okay, so now another way to do this kind of thing is, let's start with the real bright outside. So we're going to go white and yellow right here, white and yellow, and then we're going to move from the yellow to red. So let's put red in here. And then we're going to move from the red to a black to get our darkest shadow. This is going to make a brown. And then we've got the color again moving from our lightest yellow, moving toward red as it gets more shadowed. And then we have a nice silhouette of a big backlit cloud in the distance right here. So now we might have layers of clouds going up here. Let's put a few in front of the sun right here. These are just silhouettes that are out in front of the sun now. Then let's put layers of bright clouds going back and back. So we've got bright yellow right here. And we're going to bring this back further and further. This is where you can get real detailed. Let's put it right in front of this guy. I like to have a little bit of perspective in my sunset scene. I need lots of white because I have to make sure this is a good bright color in my sunset. Although it's the patterns of the colors, not the intensity of the colors, the relationship between them that really makes it. Okay, now I'm going to put shadows like this all across this with red. So I'm just going to do little stripes of red, and I'm going to fade those downward. I don't blend them upward, I blend them downward. Even though that looked like just a stripe, I was being careful to leave it sharper on the top edge and then blend it downward. So I'm blending downward so that it creates the shadow of a cloud coming down. It creates clouds in perspective. So we have darker orange colors going off into the background. The deeper spots that are less exposed to that light coming from underneath. And then I can take my bright color again. Let's go around the top side of this with the yellow. Now look, this is where it's nice to have this dark gray color, because then when I come up into here with the color that's not as lightened by white, it doesn't have to be as lightened by white because it's real bright next to that darker gray that I put in there. So now let's put red in the middle of that,
2
right
minutes.
here. And then let's put black in the middle of that red after we get it blended. So that gradually bends down into that light that's on the underside. Let's blend this to the edge. Right here, this is a big cloud that's blocking a lot of light. Now let's put black in the middle of that one. Ooh, that's really dark. This is going to be a real dramatic, close cloud. Now I'm just going to let my brush run out of black paint as it gets closer and closer to the edges of this. And I'm not going to go back to the middle, then back to the edge, because then I'll mix too much of that black with the yellow. I got to be careful that I have it visible, the change from the yellowest color to the reddest color to the yellow to the red to the black in the middle, which is not black. It's mixing with the yellow and the red to create this brown. Like this. Okay, so more atmosphere equals more distance. So this is lighter, more the color of the sky, so it just makes it look more distant. This is lighter and more the color of that gold light-filled sky, so it makes it more distant. So I can get real complex with this sunset if I want to and add all kinds of clouds in front of clouds. Maybe there's a cloud. I'll grab the shadow color and put a cloud in front of this one.
30 seconds.
This one, this one's getting blocked. You know, the light's not hitting this one, so it's out in front of this. And let's put one across here. Look, this one's not getting the sunlight, so I don't have to put that bright edge around this one. I can put a dark cloud in front of a light cloud. I can put, you know, maybe a
10.
maybe low one going, okay, I get it.
Three,
Thank you.
All right,
two.
10-minute sunset.